Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friends and Music podcast. Today, I'm sitting with Chase. What's up, Chase?
Hey, how's it going?
Dude, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's crazy, kind of you asking me that when we've been talking for a couple minutes already.
You're like, are you stupid? We've been talking.
we do the catching up and then the formalities.
Yeah, people need to hear the pleasantries, or do they think
Yes.
I'm rude?
Yeah.
Let me explain, everybody. Chase has the most beautiful eyes I have ever seen, and he's hiding them from me right now.
I'm sorry.
He is. Thank you. I appreciate it. He's such a handsome man, such a good friend. We met a while ago in Idaho, which I'll tell the how we met story. But Chase is a gentleman of a friend. He doesn't treat just women with respect. He treats everybody he knows with respect, dude. And I appreciate that. And you're laughing at me, but I'm being sincere, dude.
That's funny, though.
It's true, dude.
Not just women with respect.
Everybody, dude.
Everybody. Men, women, and children alike.
Well, there's a few people you don't, but everybody that
senior citizens. Senior citizens.
Screw them, dude. So, our how we met story is probably my favorite story of how I met somebody, and so I'm gonna go into it if that's okay, and then you can tell me what I missed out. If that's all right.
I'd be interested to hear it.
So it's 13 years ago. I was going to school in Rexburg. Has it been longer?
Yeah, I was. You said I knew that it was like that long ago. I guess hearing 13 years ago sounds scary. A little bit.
You've been at the job 10 years that you're at right now, right?
Yeah.
So it's been at least 11, maybe 12.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's just you say 13 and you're like, holy cow,
We old. We are the senior citizens that you hate.
Yeah.
That's us now.
Yeah, dude, I turned 41 this year, so yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Have you looked into buying a coffin yet?
Into what?
To buying a coffin? Like, are you thinking about that?
So I've been looking at them on Amazon a little bit,
Yeah.
I'm holding out for just the right size.
Yeah.
Extra
small.
Yeah. Well, since you've seen me, I got the BBL. So
okay. Explain that in more detail to me. What that is?
Brazilian butt lift.
Okay. Perfect.
So no. You know what's funny though is actually I just did this thing at work the other day. I don't know, maybe a month ago or something like that. We have these different open enrollment for insurance and benefits is coming up. Okay. And going into that, they have little meetings and seminars that you can take and readings or whatever. And so one that I watched was about planning for the unexpected and making sure your affairs are in order in case of an emergency. And so I requested the packet to basically have all of my, after death things taken care of and all that stuff.
See, I joke about the coffin, but you actually have been looking into that stuff.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so let's hear this story.
That's something we all need to do. Take it serious. So however long, somewhere between 11 and 13 years ago, I was going to school in Rexburg. I was dating this girl. We drove to Idaho Falls. We went to the mall. It's Christmas time. And I don't know what we were doing there, right? But it's Christmas time.
The almonds.
Yep, we were in a store, and there's these roasted sweet treat nuts. Just the smell, the aroma is going throughout the entire mall. And the girl I was with, she's like, I need those nuts in my mouth. And I said, let's make that happen. So we go to the nut stand and get these sweet treat. I want to say salty nuts, but they're not salty. They're sweet nuts.
Yes.
And there's this gentleman, this scary looking gentleman helping us out in the purchase of these nuts. And he has 2 nylon gloves on. And he removes one glove and it says made across his knuckles. And I said, yo, let me guess. The other hand says self. And he looks down at his hands and sees that I can't see the other hand. And then he looked back up at me with joy and excitement in his eyes and instant love and says, are you a Blink fan? And I said, yeah, I am. Are you? Obviously you are. And you go,
I do remember this. Yeah, I do remember that.
And so yeah, we talked for a few minutes. We said we both play music. You're like, dude, I got a whole setup. Come jam sometime. and you gave me your phone number, and we walked away, and my girlfriend says, leave it to you to be the only guy to go on a date with a girl and get some guy's phone number to hang out with them.
I do remember that.
Yeah, is there anything different you want to say about your side of
No, I don't remember the girl being there.
Yeah, dude, we
That's
just
all.
ignored her. We didn't even care
Yeah.
about what she was doing. She probably wandered away.
Yeah. How is she doing?
Oh, last I heard, she's married. She's got some kids.
Those BYUI students.
Yeah.
Granted, it's been 13 years, so,
Yeah,
life
it's been a
accordingly.
while. Yeah, it's not like that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, honestly, I had kind of I remember having the talk with you about Blink, but I was telling you before we started, I didn't remember where it was or any of that. I forgot that it was at that almond booth.
Yeah, and that was like your family ran that or something, right? So you're helping them out?
Yeah. Yeah. My family, my grandparents started it, and then my mom ran it, and I worked at it.
Well, I'm glad you did, because if you weren't there that day, I don't know if we would be having this conversation right now.
No. You know what, though? Maybe because I was always really big in going to shows in Rexburg, too.
Well, yeah, and that's what we need to get talking about is I think you really helped the band that I was in take off, and people don't always credit you, but I mean, you were the behind the scenes guy of talk to this person, do this, do that, and you really helped us out so much.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I just liked hanging out with you guys.
Well, and we liked having you around, dude.
So that was more that I was like, oh, I'm going to hang out with these guys. You guys are cool. I want friends. So, and then I liked recording music, and you guys played music. And at the time, I wasn't playing in any band, so it was fun to do. And then you guys always were super cool about letting me be like, hey, have you guys thought about trying this at this part of the song?
Yeah, no, for sure. And you always made it better.
Well, I made it something, but I don't know about better.
Oh, you definitely made it better.
But yeah, so yeah, it's crazy. Actually, you and Karlton, I think, are the only ones that I still I mean, I guess you'd say talk to.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, I don't know, 6 months ago was probably the last time I talked to Karlton, is because I ran into him walking into a kid's clothing store as I was walking out of a kid's clothing store.
Yeah, you got a new outfit for yourself?
Yeah, well, they were having a sale and on, band merch and stuff. So, well, yeah, him and his wife Michelle. But I haven't seen TJ or Mike or didn't talk to him for years.
I know it's sad that we all move away, and it's
Yeah.
so easy to stay in contact with people because we have the device in our hands at all times of how to reach somebody.
Yeah.
But we definitely don't take advantage of it as much as we should.
Yeah, and I felt like I got really close with you and Karlton and even Mike too. I don't know that I ever got real close with TJ for whatever reason. I don't really. I always liked him, you know.
Yeah.
I remember when I met you guys. Didn't you guys have a different bass player?
Yeah, we did at first.
And then Mike learned how to play bass.
Correct.
To play with you guys, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because I kind of remember him I remember when I was recording it, and he'd be like, "Is that how I should do that? Is that how I should do that?" But yeah, yeah, and he was such a sweetheart, though.
Oh, definitely.
Just the nicest, friendliest giant.
I've noticed since doing this that I surround myself with just purely nice people. You being one of them, so
yeah. Well, and I hope Karlton listens to this because he was the only one that I felt wasn't really all that nice. I'm just joking. Karlton is a sweetheart.
I love it.
He was, yeah, no, he was a sweetheart. Karlton is maybe the most sophisticated, sweetest, intellectual person I've ever met.
Dude, what a great compliment. I should have used that for his intro.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. It's when Karlton would talk, like when we were recording and stuff like that, or even like I remember where I went to one time, you guys were like jamming and like I don't even know what it was. For some reason in my head, it's a airplane hangar. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
There was an airplane in it.
There was multiple airplanes, but yeah, you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking to me, and I remember I kept thinking he's going to explain to me the frequency in which this sound is coming out of his amplifier and how the frequency is made. Like
And
he's such a smart guy.
the whole time you were just staring, like, is that an airplane?
Yeah. Yeah. Can I get in it?
Yeah. I was trying
But
to
yeah,
think back to the last time that I saw you, and I think it was in passing. Like I called you, like, "Hey, where are you?" Like I'm in your neck of the woods. You're like, "Hey, I'm driving up from Utah," and I was driving back that direction. So I think we just stopped and met at like a gas station, right? I think that's the last time you and I hung out, and that was a long time ago.
yeah, probably. I was thinking there was at a point where I was working in Utah,
Oh,
and
that's right.
I want to
Yeah.
say you were living in Utah,
Yep.
or
We
maybe you
met.
guys were there visiting or whatever. But um I met you and uh what is now I guess your ex at
Uh-huh.
I think it was like Red Robin.
I think it was Red Robin. Yeah, you're right. Because we got zucchini, dude. I remember getting those zucchini
Yeah,
sticks with you. Delicious.
yeah, yeah, and had dinner, and that was when I was thinking it was the last time. But yeah, you might
Yeah.
be right.
Well, we need to change that. We need to hang out and go to Kansas like we were talking about. Make that happen.
Yes, yes, Kansas or Kentucky.
Yeah. Beautiful sightseeing. We'll have a good
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Let's
Um,
just do like a road trip across country.
okay. Dude, I'm down.
That'd be fun. We could
Yeah.
like find cool like little indie shows to go to along the way, and
Dude,
you know,
like one thing I want to do is travel and do all the baseball parks. But how cool would it be just to travel
oh
and just go to different concert venues in different
yeah,
cities and towns, dude?
that'd be super fun. I'd be into that. I'd be into that. That'd be so fun.
It'd just be like the timing of like there actually being a show that night. That would be hard to work out. But let's do it.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd
Rent
be
a
cool.
van. Let's go.
Yeah, and like just camp along the way.
Dude, I'm so down. Screw this podcast. Let's go do that right now.
Yeah, I
And
don't even know what we're doing here. I'll be there, man. I'm on my way.
so um back to talking about like you helping the band. I really do feel that way that you helped us get our momentum going and it's because like you were in bands in that area before. So I'm curious to know about the bands you were in before that time and also the music scene in Eastern Idaho. So you can choose which one you want to talk about first. Yourself or the music scene.
um, well, okay, so the music scene, East Idaho. I love East Idaho.
Mhm.
In the summertime, in the springtime,
Oh my god. Yeah.
wintertime, it's kind of garbage. But
Yeah.
the music scene here, like, kind of, especially for like our kind of music, I have always kind of felt was kind of garbage.
Okay.
Um, with the exception of a short few years in Rexburg. Rexburg, like when when I was like young, like I don't know, 14, 15, just starting to play music. There, I don't even remember what the name of the venue was. There was an actual like legit venue in Rexburg that had like good bands. I remember I saw like homegrown play there, and Cherry Pop and Daddies played
Okay.
there. Um, and then that place closed down. I want to say it was called like Deviate or something like that.
Okay.
But anyways, and then East Idaho's always had very, very much so like a metal music scene,
Yeah.
which is cool in its own right, you know. And I'm not saying anything bad about metal, but when you're playing in a pop punk band, it's hard to get shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
For anybody that's really going to care about seeing you outside of your friend group, you know,
Yeah.
um, because you're playing with metal bands who have people at their shows that are there for metal and moshing and don't want to jump up and down and chew bubblegum, you know?
I love it.
So it's always been kind of hard. But and then we had a few years there, probably around the time that you were up at BYUI and stuff, that we got some like pretty cool like pop punk and like indie pop and indie punk bands. And I wish I could remember the names of all of them, but they were good. And that was like a really fun time. And then and now it's kind of gone back to it's metal, if anything. Like, I know of 2 local bands around this area that really do anything anymore, and one of them, like, they break up for a year at a time and then get back together, and it's the same exact members every time, but a different band name with new songs every time.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's kind of not always been great, but the music scene, anyways, around here is hard. It's never built the momentum of, like, say, a bigger city. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's hard with the amount of people they have there, but with it being
Yeah.
like in the college town or near the college town, it's a surprise that they can't sustain something.
Yeah. Well,
bring people in.
Yeah, and it's honestly, I think it's probably because, like, they do get, like, the bands. You know what I mean? It's college town. You get, like, it's kind of a melting pot from all over.
Yeah.
You know, but those people eventually graduate college and go back to where they came from, and then the bands are gone. You know?
Yeah. Well, even just bringing people out there is hard. Like, to have a venue with bringing bands and, like, getting the community to come support that, like, that was always really difficult.
Yeah. There's been, like, I can't remember what the name is. There was that venue that in Rexburg there for a minute that was like the cereal bar.
Yeah, I think it was Skizzy's at that time.
Skizzy's, yeah. Skizzy's.
Yeah.
And they did a pretty good job. And there was, like, every time I went to a show there or played a show there, it was always, like, a good turnout and stuff like that. But, like, the fun shows ended up always being, like, I remember Heisey played a show one time at like a apartment commons area or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I that was the one that I did, like, guest vocals on, like, a Sum 41 song or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that was
fun.
Yeah, and those were always, like, the funner shows because regardless of, like, if a bunch of people came, at least the people that lived there were there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They didn't like the music, but they were there.
Yeah. So, like, there was always at least that, you know? But yeah, the music scene's kind of always struggled a little bit around here for, like, the pop punk stuff, and I'm not really a metalhead at all. Like, I still listen to, like, the same bands I listened to in junior high and high school.
I haven't matured or grown up either, so I'm glad we have each other.
Yeah, even, like, and even still, sometimes with some of those bands, they come out with, like, a new album, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna listen to your old ones.
Yeah, no, I get that and relate to that as well.
Yeah. So, but, like, as far as, like, where I started in music, was that the question? Where I started in music?
Let's hold on for a second, because that venue you were talking about, where you said Homegrown played.
Yes.
If I remember right, when we talked about that, when we were both in Rexburg together, like, forget what we were doing, but you pointed out the building, and that was at the time the Alpha Graphics building, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know if it still is. I would assume it still is, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
So it was like the copy place, like basically a Kinko's, but like a local-ish.
Yeah, like right next to a park or something.
Yeah, and so I remember, I think you said Rancid played there once, right?
Yeah, if I remember right, they used to have so many good shows there.
So
I remember
I
remember a Pennywise concert there one time, Homegrown, like I said, Cherry Pop and Daddies. But, like, I want to say, and I could be mixing up my venues here, but I'm pretty sure that, like, that had been a venue for a while. Like, Chuck Berry or somebody had played there too. You know what I mean? Like, and then there was this band that was probably in, like, 2006, 7, somewhere in that ballpark area. There was this band from Idaho Falls. Well, the people in it were from Idaho Falls. They had since moved to, like, Southern California or whatever. And ended up, like, kind of becoming really, really good friends with the band Finch.
Okay.
And one of them ended up, his name was Ryan, who's, like, just a solid dude. Still pretty good friends with him. And he ended up working at the studio that Finch recorded at their albums at. And like, I mean, Blink 182 did their pre-production for their Enema of the State at that studio, and they recorded their live album at that studio. And I mean, you look at, like, a lot of, like, the early what I call emo screamo bands, you know, like Finch or Senses Fail, like those kinds of bands, you know what I mean? Phoenix TX was one of the pop punk bands, and all recorded there or whatever. And anyways, he ended up recording there, and then afterwards he got this. They were in a band in high school, all these guys, called the Sweet Stanleys, and
Okay.
out of Idaho Falls High School. And they started this band down there, and it was supposed to be just like something to do to pass the time, and they called it the Fall Project.
Okay.
Um, and they did a show there in Rexburg, and like did a whole music video and promo for it and everything like that, and ended up going on to like kind of be bigger. I think they toured with Finch, if I remember right.
Nice.
And then they kind of did the Finch thing where they put out this really, really good like EP or album. And then the next album was kind of like really experimental and weird and was not received well.
Okay.
And so they ended up going nowhere. And now I think one of the guys works for like, he's like a sound creator for TikTok or something like that. I think one of them does something with Pixar or something, but
Wow. Good for them.
yeah. But yeah, that venue there, it was like a legit venue. Like I don't even know, it used to be called In the Venue in Salt Lake. I don't know what it is anymore. I think it's called the Complex or something.
Yeah, In the Venue is apartments now. So yeah, it's the complex that's left.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that was apartments now. That's crazy. But yeah, like I mean, it rivaled like what the complex is. It was nice. It was awesome.
Dude, that's so cool.
But and yeah, like I said, especially like late '90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of really cool like mainstream punk bands that came through there and started into the pop punk and before it closed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun.
Well, thank you for sharing that and giving us the history lesson on East Idaho music scene.
Yes.
This
Sorry.
PBS episode was brought to you by the letter Y and the color yellow.
Yes, the letter Y, pop punk music, and pepperoni pizza.
Amen. So then you said during that you started playing music about 14, 15. So how did you
Yeah.
get into music?
So, kind of a sad, funny story.
Okay.
Can you hear me still?
I can, yeah.
Okay. So I got into music. I think it was like 13. My parents got divorced, and I started getting in kind of a lot of trouble at school and fighting and stuff like that, and other things. And I got ordered through like court and probation to do anger management classes.
Okay.
And my anger management counselor, teacher, whatever you want to call it, taught anger management courses using fly fishing.
Okay.
Which I know doesn't make sense right now, but it will.
Okay.
And fly fishing seemed to piss me off more.
I was gonna say this is a frustrating thing to do.
Yeah, and I got real mad, and the counselor, whatever it was, had said he needs something to get his aggression out. Blah 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 blah, whatever, you know. Have you thought about a musical instrument? And I'd already played like saxophone since like 4th grade.
Okay.
For like school band, you know.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, you know, he's played saxophone. That doesn't really seem to help. He's not really interested in that. And she's like, no, I meant something a little bit more aggressive. Like, what about drums?
Yeah.
And so my mom, I don't know how she tracked it down. I probably knew at one point, but either way, ended up buying me my first drum set, which it was actually one of the touring drum sets from the band Heart.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, it was old and not really taken care of, but
still, what a great story.
Yeah, and so and I just took off with that, and for about a year, that's what I did. Was like I set it up in my mom's living room, and my mom like almost every night would sit down in front of me, and I'd sit there and like listen to a song or something like that, and try to play that beat or whatever, you know, and ended up teaching myself how to play drums. And my dad, about a year after that, ended up marrying this woman, which my first stepmom, her whole family were like had like an actual like legit family band. And like grew up like touring and playing in this family band and doing like state fairs and stuff, you know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
And her brother had a bass guitar, I think is what it was. And let me like play around on that. And so I started playing bass and met a kid named Chris that played guitar and a guy named Don that played drums who was a couple years older than us, who all of us just loved 311. And so we started like learning how to play like 311 songs.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I ended up not really quitting drums. I still played drums at home, but like not in a band. I played bass in a band and like sang. And then that kind of just morphed into, if you learn how to play bass, you should probably learn how to play guitar. So I learned how to play guitar, and
Nice.
then I kind of bounced around and I started a band in high school called the Guest Stars, who like for like a high school band in my high school, like we were like kind of a bigger deal. Like the school had asked us to play assemblies and
Nice.
stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there used to be this venue in Blackfoot called Tony's Family Billiard, who we played one show there once with this band who's actually still around for some reason, called D-Knots. And the owner's wife loved us. And so she would just start calling us like on like Monday and Tuesday, being like, hey, you guys want to come play Friday and Saturday? So we started playing every Friday and Saturday down at Tony's Family Billiards, like
sick, dude.
For like, I don't know, a year or two. And then, yeah, after that, my buddy Brandon, who kind of introduced me to punk rock music. He's like he was the driving force behind, he's not the driving force. He was the reason I fell in love with punk rock. His dad and my dad grew up together, and he was like this like ultra cool like street punk, you know, with the mohawk and like the leather jacket and stuff.
Yeah.
And he showed me a band. I want to say it was Bad Religion, I think is what it was. And he was like playing bass along with them and stuff, and I was like, my God, I've never heard, how could something be like as fun as this, but still as aggressive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because before that, I was like 311 and like, I don't know, like Corn, you know? So he got me into punk rock music. That was probably when I was like 14-ish. When I was 17, though, he had moved to Utah and started a band with a guy named Scott, who like grew up with the Used and was like best friends with the Used.
Yeah.
Like since they were kids. And he called me and was like, you still playing bass? And I was like, yeah. And, you know, trying to, whatever. And at the time, my band, the Guest Stars, was like breaking up for whatever reason. And he was like, you want to move to Utah and play bass? And I was like, heck yeah. So I moved down to Utah and played bass with them for a lot of years. And yeah, ended up, because of that, we would, because of my connections in Idle Falls, we'd come to Idle Falls and play shows. And ended up playing shows with a band that my cousin was in, called Death in December. And Death in December's bass player ended up quitting and wanting to get married or something. And they had been like in talks or something like that with a couple different record labels about signing up, doing production deals, that kind of thing. And they needed a bass player. And so I was like, I'd come in, fill in for you. It's not really my kind of music, whatever. So I came in, and it was supposed to be just for this like little mini tour. It was like a week or two long, of the like the Northwest or something.
Okay.
And came home and they're like, yeah, it was like, you're doing awesome. And like, you're exactly what we're looking for. You want to be the bass player. So I ended up joining that band and learned the rest of their songs, which they had like 20. And within 6 months, we were down in San Diego in that studio. Actually, the same studio that like that I was talking about earlier, that Finch was in.
So cool, dude.
That like Blink 182 recorded in and stuff. Recording our album down there was called DML Studios in Escondido, California. and spent like, I want to say it was like a month or two down there recording that album, and came home and toured and played a lot and did a lot of cool shows. And that band became very much about partying, which I never was about.
Yeah.
So I ended up quitting that band and starting my band Madison Lights, which was like the band in Idaho Falls. Like I'd moved back to Idaho Falls and started that band and did like the pop punk thing again. And sorry, I kind of rambled there.
I got some questions when you're ready for them.
And then I did Madison Lights for a lot of years and toured with that, and we recorded an album. And at one point we were going to sign a management deal with Quinn Allman, from the original guitar player of The Used, and then he decided that he was going to get married instead and have the time or something. So, and then we ended up breaking up, and that was kind of like really the last real band that I was in.
Okay.
And we broke up, I think it was 2012. And that's when I opened the studio and that kind of stuff.
Nice, dude.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to ramble on so much.
Ramble on. No, I love it. So the band, high school band, was it called The Guest Stars?
Yeah, The Guest Stars.
Okay. And is there recordings of that anywhere?
There is somewhere, but I have no idea where. Every once in a while, like a buddy of mine will send me like a video of him listening to it. And I'm like, hey, you should get me copies of that. And I never get them.
Yeah, I've never heard that band, so I need to hear that at some point if we can.
Yeah, we were awful. We were like a straight like Blink 182 like Buddha album ripoff.
Okay. And I feel like you named all these bands, but you didn't name Blink. So when did Blink come into the picture of music obsession for you?
Blink, for me, when their song "Damn It" came out, was the first time that like I'd really like heard them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I got probably like 14. That was still like there was like the street punk, Blink 182, MXPX, and then Korn and Limp Bizkit and bands like Rammstein and Orgy and those bands that were like awful in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
That I got really into. But Blink, for me, that was like probably like 97, 98.
Yeah.
That I like got into them, and before Travis was in the band, that kind of stuff. So Enema of the State though is probably where like Blink like took hold of me though.
Yeah.
I remember that album came out and I bought it solely because I liked the song Damn It. I liked another one of their songs called Dick Lips, and another song called Boring. And I was at the record store. It was called CD World here in Idaho Falls. I was there. And they had this like big like cardboard display thing for Enema of the State that was there with the nurse and whatever. And I bought it solely because of the nurse on the front. And I put it in. I remember like getting into my mom's car, putting it in the CD player. And my mom was always so like genuinely the coolest when it came to like music and the music I wanted to listen to and like supporting it and stuff like that,
Yeah.
She would like take me to buy the records. My first like influential concert in my life, I guess, was Blink 182. In probably 2000, I was like in 10th grade. And my mom bought me tickets and drove me and my friend to Utah and dropped us off at, I think it's called the Maverick Center now or something, but it used to be called the E Center, to go watch the show. And it was just, she's always been super cool about it. But that was, I remember I put it in, and that first, I'm so bad with song names now. Dumpweed, there you go. It started out whatever. And I remember my eyes went white and my heart was racing, and I was like, I have never heard an album open that way. And like there's just this feeling that like legitimately I still get that feeling listening to that album,
That's so
you
sick,
know.
dude.
And I remember thinking, how are they doing this like such melodic but like energetic, like you can listen to it to go to sleep or you can listen to it to get amped and get
Yeah.
excited or like whatever. And then like I remember that day my mom had like a whole bunch of errands to run, you know.
Uh-huh.
And we'd listen to that album because it's only like what, like 37 minutes or something
Yeah,
like that
sure.
long.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we listened to that album that whole day, and it was. I remember that night, like my mom was like making. She was doing something in the kitchen, and I'll never forget. I was sitting in like at our dining room table, it was just outside of our kitchen, and she didn't know the words, but she had that melody in her head, the like singing all the small things, you
Yeah.
know.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like doing the same thing, and I was like, I can listen to this with her,
Dude, that's
you know.
sick. Yeah.
And like I never, because before then it was always my mom would always be like, well, let's listen to this other stuff, or I don't want to listen to the heavy stuff, you know what I mean, or that's
Yeah.
too fast for me, whatever. And so yeah, so it was just like Enema of the State for me. Like it was from the day that that came out. I think that I probably wore that CD out and fried it because it was just, it never left the CD player, and I had like, I think it was like 3 or 4 copies of it.
Yeah, dude.
So
Such a beautiful story. I love it.
yeah. So, and my mom still to this day, like unknowingly, like I'll be like doing something, helping her with something like in her yard or something like that,
Yeah.
and randomly she'll like start singing Blink or something like that, or she's
So
asked me, "Whatever happened to Tom from Blink?"
I love your mom, man. She's so cool.
Stuff like that. Actually, so like if you look right here, nobody will be able to see this but you. But this was a housewarming present from my mom. These
Late night,
pictures.
come home, work sucks. I know it's two different pieces of
Two,
art.
yeah, 2 different pictures. One says "Late night, come home," or "Work sucks." I know. Late night, come
Yeah.
home. Whatever.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
If you can send me a picture of that, we'll put it in the Instagram post. And when you just sat back down, I saw, is there Enema of the State
Oh,
behind
yeah.
you?
Yes. So they're not just Enema of the State. So that's the other thing. Yeah, I have the Enema of the State
Oh,
like
that's
album,
cool.
whatever it's called. It's
Yeah, I like that, dude.
yeah, and then this one you can't really see, but it's like just sketches and drawings.
That's really
Tom
cool, man.
DeLonge drew all this stuff, and
Yeah.
then they're like lyrics from their songs all over.
Yeah, please send
So
pictures 'cause that's cool, dude.
yeah, so it's my Blink stuff. Oh, and then dude, I bleed Blink. I've also got the Funko Pops. You know, like
Love it.
Blink 182's. That's probably outside of my kids. That's my one constant in my entire life.
Beautiful, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
You brought
So.
the kids, but I don't want to talk about your kids yet.
Oh yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah, I want to talk about Blink still.
Okay, yeah, I'm always down
How
to talk
many
about Blink.
how many
Do
times
you
have
want
you
to know their
seen Blink?
birthdays? You what?
How many times have you seen them?
Oh, like I think 8 or 9, somewhere
Nice, dude.
7 to 9,
Okay. And then
somewhere around that area.
so Tom's back. So how do you feel about the new sound?
Okay, so we were talking a little bit about this before. So there's not a version of Blink that I don't like, or an album of theirs that I don't like. 9 kind of sucked, but um, the new Blink is my favorite version of Blink that they've been. Like, you know, like there's like the Enema of the State version, very like kind of like preppy pop punk, stereotypical pop punk.
Yeah.
And then there's the Take Off Your Pants and Jacket Blink that's like kind of dark and seedy and goth, you know? Like all black everything. And then there's my second favorite version of Blink is the Untitled version.
Yeah.
Like where they kind of developed like each of them had their own style instead of trying to like kind of like have like a overall style of the band, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so on. But this new version of Blink is for from of like for the new band or for the new album, One More Time album, whatever. There's that album. It was. So I was talking with a buddy about this, who's also like a diehard Blink fan, you know. And there was something like I remember the first time I listened to it, like so exciting. It was like reliving that Enema of the State feeling again. You know what I mean? Hearing it for the first time. But there was also something like super emotional about it. And like it's hard for me to explain. The way that me and my buddy kind of explained it to each other, whatever. It's like listening to that album is like remembering what it's like to be a kid again.
Yeah, I like that.
But also at the same time, a reminder that's done and gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like every song on that. There's a song that the More Than You Know, you know,
Yep.
or Childhood on that album. There's just so many different parts of it that it's like I feel like I felt when I was a kid, but I know I'm not a kid and I'll never feel that way. You know what I mean? It'll never be the same anymore. I remember listening to that first song, Anthem Part 3 on that album when it first came out and like listening to it or whatever. And it's like legitimately like choking up, almost crying about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the song about this is, I think, the first album that Blink-182 has like really, really gone into like really personal stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like hearing about like the song that's all about Mark's cancer, or even the song One More Time, you know, which is like basically like an apology to each other.
Yeah.
For whatever. And when you're so invested in a band and like almost kind of that band is kind of an identity for me, you know. Anybody that knows me knows I'm like diehard Blink. I will like, I mean, anything. I'll always talk Blink. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I probably know more about the individuals than any person should ever know. But yeah, it was like, I don't know. I can't. It's hard for me to put into words. I love the new Blink.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to hear that. That's cool.
It came out like what, a year and a half ago. It is still played in my truck every day. I listen to it at home almost every day. You know, like that's what I listen to is that new album. So
I've been thinking about like maybe questions to like try to quiz you on with because you're like I know everything about Blink. But how about instead of coming up with an aggressive approach, how about you just tell us a fun fact that you like about Blink?
a fun fact that I like about Blink.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hard. I like the fact that Tom's favorite food is spaghetti. Because that's also my favorite food.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I like that. So okay. Have you read Mark Hoppus's book yet?
Yep.
Okay, so you know when he talks about how on New Year's he was on a beach in Hawaii? Oh, there you go. Yep. Yeah, you got it right there. I'm not going to pretend that I read it. I listened to it.
Okay.
It's like that comedian says, I would read, but those books have the most words.
Yeah.
No, so you know in that book he talks about the beach. He was on a beach in Hawaii when he got the email that Tom had quit the band again.
Yep.
On New Year's or whatever it was. I've been on that beach.
Dude, that's so
like
sick.
I sat on that beach, and I sat on that beach knowing that story before the book even came out.
Yeah.
He talked about that one other time, like on an interview or something, and I was like, I got to go to this beach.
Yeah, that's so sick, dude.
So yeah, like, man, I so much stuff. I think that I probably forgot more about Blink than most people know about Blink, to be honest.
We used to talk about them quite a bit, and yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of my fun facts about them came from you. So,
dude, I remember when I was like 15 or 16 years old, like total like cheese ball thing. I remember sending them like birthday cards to their fan mail.
So sick. Did you ever send any to Sombreros? Because I know that's where they used to get their fan mail. Did you ever send any there?
So that used to be the address for their fan mail back then. That's like where you sent it, was to Sombrero.
So yeah, that's so cool.
So yeah, yep. I sent them birthday cards one year.
If anybody doesn't get the reference, they have a line. It says, "She brings me Mexican from Sombreros just because." So yeah, they used to go there all the time. Which I've been there because of them. Yeah, I had to go get food. I had to get a burrito. It was delicious.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like, and I hate to admit it. So when I was in that band Death in December, and we were in Escondido, California, recording our album, which is like Encinitas, Escondido. It's all suburbs of San Diego, right? Yeah. You're never more than like 15 minutes from anywhere. We were like, I don't know, like I said, 10, 15-minute drive from Sombrero. And I went there on Thanksgiving that year because we were there for Thanksgiving. I went there for Thanksgiving. That's where I had like my Thanksgiving dinner.
Dude, that's so sick.
And I remember thinking, that's just okay.
I want to write a song about this.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in my song. But yeah, no, that's I remember finding out that Tom's favorite food was spaghetti, which is funny to me because he's also a vegan. That his favorite food spaghetti. How do you be vegan and eat spaghetti? But he figures it out, I guess.
It's an alien recipe. Once he got abducted, they showed him a new recipe, so that's how it came to be. Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny too about that? Like how like diehard Blink fan I am. Especially Tom. I don't know what it is about Tom, but especially Tom. When he started the To the Stars thing and he was like opening it to the public for investors or whatever.
Yeah.
The smallest amount you could donate or invest in the company was $100.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Any returns from that?
No. So it was like I don't remember. It was like 6 months later or a year later, something like that. I got like a commemorative something or whatever. Thanks for your whatever. We've opted to not. They basically all of the smaller buy-ins. They canceled.
That's annoying.
Yeah, so it was something like you had to like buy in for like more than it was like $5,000 or something like that to keep stock in it or something like that. Yeah. I did $100 stock in it, and I got like a piece of paper and I want to say a guitar pick, which I'm sure was never used. I'm sure it was just like, hey guys, hey Dunlop, we need like 15,000 guitar picks.
Yeah.
So
they took your $100 to buy all 15,000 of those picks to send to everybody.
Yeah, probably. So, but yeah, no, I've even been by the original To the Stars like office, like that's driven by it.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So, all about the Blink.
Love it. But let's go back to when you said that you went to Utah to join a band. What band did you join?
So at the time, they were called Teenage Heartthrob.
Okay.
Which was hilarious to me always because we were like hairy, tattooed, chubby dudes that were like not even in the slightest bit attractive.
Okay.
And we were like, hey, we're Teenage Heartthrob. There was nobody chomping at any bit to get at us. And when we finally realized that and I convinced them, hey guys, we should change our name. We after that we became Skies Over Berlin.
Nice.
And I don't even know where that name came from.
Okay.
But actually, kind of fun fact for you. So that was like 2004-ish. I was pushing really, really, really hard. I actually still have the notebook that we wrote all of our names down in. I was pushing really hard to name our band Prize Fighter, which years later a band came out with the band, and we're a big deal called Prize Fighter.
It's a good name.
Yeah, I always thought so.
And then, so you went back to Idaho, Death in December, which that is on Spotify.
Yes.
And then you left that and started Madison Lights.
Yes.
Which I love the band name because you were in Madison County, right?
So no, we were actually out of Idaho Falls, but
Oh, okay.
the band name came from when I was like little kid. There used to be like a laser light show in
Nice.
Rexburg that they
Okay.
called the Madison Light Show.
Yeah, perfect,
And
dude.
ever since I was like a little kid, or since I started playing in bands, I guess, was always like the Madison Lights Show. That'd be a cool band name, Madison Lights.
Yeah, and it's sick,
Um,
dude. I love it.
and so yeah, so when I moved back to Idaho, it was like just me and this kid named Trey that like he was kind of our singer for a minute. We moved back to Idaho Falls, or I moved to Idaho Falls. He moved here from Washington, um, and trying to put a band together and stuff like that. And we kept like bouncing ideas off it. And I just was like, hey, no, we're going to be called Madison Lights. And so it
Yeah.
just stuck. And like, I don't know, maybe a month after he moved here, he moved back to Washington. And I just, when I would get like, meet a new member of the band or whatever, I was like, yeah, I'm starting a band called Madison Lights.
Nice, dude.
So
Just made it work.
Yep. I was just like, hey, if you want to be in the band, that's our name.
And I was just talking to somebody about the sound of Madison Lights.
Uh-huh.
Where would you say that your inspiration for that sound came from for that band?
So Madison Lights was always like, for me, I always wanted it. I don't know that it ever came across that way. Like, I always wanted it to be like a mix of like all of my favorite bands. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to have like Blink has a very Blink style. You know, Good Charlotte has a very Good Charlotte style. Whatever. At the time I was like really in obviously Blink, and Taking Back Sunday and Fall Out Boy was like really big at the time, and man, a band called Unwritten Law, and so like I wanted to have like aspects of that all in the music. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to like overcomplicate it at all. It was always very simple music with like really catchy vocals, and we got compared a lot to Fall Out Boy because our singer sounded a lot like Fall Out Boy. But yeah, it was kind of that. It was very pop punk, but like we had songs that had like a Taking Back Sunday feel to it. We had songs that had a very messed feel to it. And at the time, that's like also when what I call party pop punk came out, which was like 4 Years Strong.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the other band at the time that was Hit the Lights, which was very like almost sporadic in the like the chord progressions. They bounced around a lot. And so we have songs on the album that were like that because that's what our singer was really into.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad to say that I was right, because I was telling somebody the other day that when I hear Take This to Your Grave by Fall Out Boy, Dead on Arrival, when there's that bridge part, dude, I feel like you have 3 songs in Madison Lights, at least, that came just from that bridge part itself.
So I'm terrible. So which song is that one? Which one is that?
Dead on Arrival? I don't know. I'm not going to sing it right now. You just have to listen to it and tell me if...
on the bridge?
Tell me if I'm right or wrong, dude, because I feel... So, Madison Lights, you didn't have... When I met you, you didn't have a copy of the CD or anything, and Mike found a copy of Madison Lights at the thrift store, dude. So that's the first time I heard Madison Lights was that CD that he got at the thrift store, dude.
That's awesome. That's way awesome.
And yeah, like it's a great album. It's a great band. I love it. Yeah,
that was like my out of all of the bands that I was in, that was like my baby. That was the one that like if I didn't write it, I had a very strong hand in writing the parts that you know what I mean? More often than not, or more of the songs than not, were songs that like I had wrote when after Death in December, before I started Madison Lights, I lived in Washington.
Okay.
And I didn't have any friends or anybody. I just had my guitar amp at my uncle's house and in a shed. And I would sit out there and write those songs. And when I moved out of Falls, I think I had like 6 of the 12 songs that are on that album, or 11 songs that are on that album.
Okay.
And the rest of the songs were either just written by me or they were written with me and the singer. His name was Fletcher. Like he would be like, "Hey, I have a riff," or I'd be like, "I have a riff," and he would kind of like take it and twist it and whatever, or I would do that to his or whatever. And so that band was very, like, very, very, very personal to me. It was also like the band that I was in when I found out I was going to be a dad and stuff like that. So there's a song on the album that's like about that and about meeting my daughter's mother and dating her, and you know what I mean? Like, so there was also songs on that album about like the very first really big show that I ever played.
Dude, that's so sick.
So
how personal it is to you.
Yeah. I love that album.
I love it too, man. I need to listen to it again because it's been a while since I've heard it, but
I actually have a copy of it now.
Okay, good. Well, let's make that happen so I can hear it again.
Heck yeah.
You kind of left off though with that band. I know you've been in other bands after Madison Lights, but is there any other ones that you want to talk about?
So the only like real band that I was in after Madison Lights was a band called Trackside.
Yeah.
Madison Lights broke up in like 2011.
Yeah.
And when we broke up, it was I was losing focus. I felt like I had a rope tied to each hand, and each rope was being pulled a different direction.
Okay.
I could either keep pursuing music or I could be a dad.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to fail at being a parent. You know what I mean? Like before I was a dad, music was like what I felt like I was put on the earth to do. I got to play music, and then you become a parent, and then all of a sudden, like nothing matters but that, and part of the band, the guys in the band wanted to move to Utah because we were like starting to get a pretty good following and everything in Utah, and people were really kind of taking hold in Utah. Like our shows in Utah were starting to be bigger than our shows in Idaho and stuff. And I just didn't want to, it wasn't that I didn't want to move to Utah or back to Utah. If I moved back to Utah, it was without my daughter. And after having a kid, I was just like, to heck with music. Being a dad is what I was meant to be, And so I didn't, it just kind of fizzled a little bit. Like literally half the band moved to Utah. Half of us stayed here with full intentions of what the plan was to, like we were going to practice in Utah and we were going to get together like every 2 weeks for a weekend and just really hammer through stuff and play shows and whatever, Yeah. And, that happened maybe a couple times and then it just stopped happening. And then we had the conversation, hey, maybe we're just done. So yeah, we stopped and decided we were just going to break up. And after that, I was never going to play music again. I was like, I'm going to do a different side of music and do like recording and producing and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And after, I don't know, 2015, 2016, I decided I kind of missed music. So I called up some friends that I knew that played music. And that's when we started Trackside and we put together, I don't know, it was like 8 songs or something like that and started playing shows. And it was like really, really big at the time. Like when politics were becoming popular for the younger generation, and half of our band was very, very pro-Trump. Half of our band was very, very pro-Clinton. And the singer of our band and me disagreed heavily on what the, I don't know, feeling of our music should be and the message should convey and that kind of thing, Yeah. And her name was Janelle, and I wish her the best. I always thought she was a sweetheart and she had an amazing voice. she started writing all of the lyrics and insisted on being the one writing the lyrics, wanting all of the songs to be kind of anti-Mormon.
Okay.
Or anti whatever political party she was about,
Okay.
And I had a hard time with it, and we really butted heads. So, we had this like big sit down. I actually started writing. I was going to do this like, fine, I'll do this band, and that's fine. But I'm also going to write a solo album just for myself. I'm not going to release it. I don't have a band name or anything like that. And I started writing my own music. And the rest of the guys in the band got really upset about it because they're like, these songs are really good. Why can't we use them? And I was like, because I don't want her singing on them. And it kind of came to a head one day, and we're like, hey, we're done. We quit. So we all quit. And then the very next week, I see an announcement on Facebook about how the Facebook page. I got a notification on Facebook about that the Facebook page was changed or something, changed our name or something like that. And so they changed the name from Trackside, which is what we were called, to Lost Boys or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, they ended up changing the name and got a new guitar player and just kept playing up the songs that I had written and stuff like that. And they ended up, I think they played one show.
Okay.
Like that. And it was just, that was the last band I was in, and it was fun while we did stuff, but it's hard to go play a show in the town like Rexburg, which is where the only place we played shows at, really, to a bunch of BYUI students when we have songs that are like anti-Mormon, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm also like, my whole adult life, I've never been active Mormon, but I was born and raised Mormon, and I have the utmost respect for any religion.
Yeah.
So, I decided that I was going to humbly bow out of that. And then after that, that was like a stark reminder how hard it is to be a full-time working person with like major responsibilities and be a dad and a single dad and everything like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And try to do music with a bunch of people. I was the only one in the band that was a parent at all. And so they all were like, I don't understand why you can't play the show. I was like, well, because I don't have a babysitter that weekend, and I have to work, and I can't take work off, because if I take work off, then I can't pay for this. And they're all still very much like kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Which is funny because we were all the same age, but I had real responsibilities. They didn't. And so after that, yeah, I was just like, band isn't for me anymore. I can't justify time away from my family for like a little hobby that isn't doing anything other than giving me something to do once or twice a week,
But I do remember at least once, one of the shows we played with you guys, your daughter was there at the show.
Oh yeah. So I used to always bring my daughter to shows.
Yeah. So we put your kids on the back burner for a while. They've been simmering, and you keep bringing them up. So let's talk about your kids. How are your kids doing?
They're good. My daughter's 16. My son's about to turn 6.
It's insane.
Yeah. She was my little road dog for a long time for a lot of shows. Even in that nights, I would take her to the shows. She would stand off. I would like have a friend there or something like that, or a friend's girlfriend there that would like be her chaperone or whatever. And she was always very shy and timid and stuff like that. And so like I would have her stand, and then I'd make the whole crowd like say hi to her or whatever. Or there was one show we played it. I was at Skizzy's. I don't remember what band it was, but it was not on her. It was the day before her birthday, and I made the whole crowd sing happy birthday to me or to her.
Yeah.
And literally she wouldn't talk to me for like a day and a half. She was so mortified.
That's so funny.
But now that she's like a little bit older, like she'll be like, hey dad, where's your band's album? I want to show my friends.
That's so cool. She's proud of you.
Aww. Yeah. And then my son, he's finally like getting old enough that he like understands that, hey, dad used to be in a band, you know what I mean? But his whole life he'll be like, I want rock and roll hair. I want rock and roll hair. It's what he calls spiky hair.
Okay,
And I'd be
that's
like, Dad used to be a rock and roller. Like that's what he used to do. And he's finally started. I put my band Madison Lights album. It's in my CD player in my truck, like always. It's like the place that I know I won't lose it, I guess,
yeah.
And it came on, I don't know, a couple weeks ago in the truck. And I was like, hey dude, this is this is me. This is my band. This is my rock and roll band. And it like something clicked and he was all like,
That's
you're
so
like
sad.
weirded out it. And then for like days he would like tell his mom, did you know Dad was a rock and roller? And mom and my ex-wife, his mom is always like, yeah, I've been to his shows. I met him when he was a rock and roller.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's pretty cool now, but he's very adamant. He wants to work out where I work and he wants to play guitar. So me and him can play guitar together. And
I
like,
love that,
he's
dude.
like my little shadow.
Yeah, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah. So yeah.
He doesn't know me because I haven't met him yet, but Emma definitely knows me. So please tell him I
Yes.
said hello.
I will. Actually, I don't know if you saw a little bit ago. I was walking around. I was like running away from her because she was asking for the keys to my truck.
I remember that show that we sang happy birthday to her because before we played, I remember sitting there and hanging out with her, like while you were setting up, and her and I were like playing patty cake or something, dude.
Oh yeah. I want to say like it was like, and I could be completely wrong, but I want to say that it was like Marissa, TJ's wife, that sat with her during that show while I was playing.
I remember my ex also sitting with her sometimes. So
yeah, and maybe it was her too. I don't remember, but I kind of remember it being like one of you guys' girls that was like sitting with her while we sang happy birthday.
Yeah, for sure. It's
So
like on that little couch to the side.
Yeah, yep. She was standing on it and then squatted down. That's hilarious. I still embarrass her like that, but
all right.
But
Now,
yeah.
are you ready for the really personal questions?
Yeah.
What's your
Always.
favorite color?
Oh man, taupe.
Soap?
No, taupe. Like
soap.
Taupe. Like T-O. It's the color of most hotel walls.
Beautiful. Is that because you spend a lot of time in hotel walls, so it makes you feel like you're at home?
No, it's supposed to be very soothing.
Okay.
I don't know. I not really. My favorite color is probably like olive green.
Beautiful. Love that.
I like green.
No one's ever asked me, but I'm going to tell you my favorite color is your eyes.
Oh. Well, I appreciate you telling me. I wish I didn't know. I'm just joking.
and then we have a submittal question before the episode was recorded. Do you have a unicorn?
Do I have a unicorn?
Yeah, that's not the question. I'm just kidding with you. It's about your tattoos. Somebody wants to know about your tattoos. They want
Somebody wants to know about my tattoos?
It's Christian. It's Christian with the both. He wants a tattoo. I forget what he said, but he just wants to see pictures of your body, I think is what he's going for. So if you want to reach out to him after.
Yeah. He just asked, hey, ask him about his tattoos.
Correct, yeah.
Oh, I have tattoos.
Okay, perfect.
I have many tattoos. I'm actually like even more tattooed than the last time. Now I'm mostly tattooed now.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
How about you give us a couple to talk about some of your favorites?
So I've got a Blink-182 tattoo, kind of.
No, you don't. I don't believe that.
Yeah. So I got to figure out how I'm going to show you this. Nobody else is going to see it, but right there, I got when they broke up. I got a headstone tattoo for Blink-182. This is Blink-182, 92 to 05. And then the a-holes got back together. Like literally, like maybe 2 months after I got that tattoo.
Well, I'm glad you jinxed it. Thank you for jinxing it.
Yeah. So I didn't know what to do. So I went and got a zombie hand coming out of the grave.
Yeah, that works.
That's like an upside down, but yeah, I got a zombie hand coming out of the grave to like represent them getting back together. And then they broke up again, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, what could you do next? The zombie hand going back down.
Yeah, I thought about like putting a stake through the zombie hand. And then I was like, and then after they got back together again, I was like, it'd be funny. I should still go get that steak, but put JK on the steak.
It's like,
when
just guys get their girls' names on their neck and then they cross it out, put the next one underneath it. That's you, but with Blink.
Yeah. I did that with my daughter's mom, except for it's on my leg. It says Lynn. I tattooed Lynn on my leg, and then I just put a line through it.
So you have both. Thank you. You have both
Yes.
examples. I appreciate it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Any others you want to highlight?
Yeah, not. Oh, I've got Newfound Glory on this arm. That's the Chad from the guitar player, and then Steve.
That's sick,
from
dude.
their Catalyst artwork. Newfound Glory is another band that's like probably been one of them. Like I would say the top 3 like most influential bands.
Nice.
In my music career would be Newfound Glory, Blink-182, and probably Meth.
And I'm just going to ignore all 3 of those because you talked about 311 today, and I've never heard you talk about 311.
Yeah, it's because what's funny is that I hate 311.
That's so funny. What's your favorite 311 song then? If you hate them so much.
So it's not even that I hate that. I just their music was pretty easy to play when I first started playing music.
Okay.
And I really liked the song. I think it's called "Come Original."
Yeah.
And that was like the like it was really easy to play on bass. So, and the singer or the guitar player of that very first band that I was in was obsessed with 311, and he was a very opinionated guy, so that's what we played was 311 songs. But like I used to think like they came out that song Amber is the Color of Your Energy.
Yeah.
I remember I used to make jokes about it, how stupid that is. I was like, amber is not a color. And energy is stupid.
Such a
so I was like, how dumb is that?
I love that 4 Year Strong came out with a song called Flannel is the Color of Your Energy.
Yeah, which is actually more accurate. Flannel could be a color, I guess. Like I think of amber and I think of a rock that a mosquito is stuck in. You know what I mean?
Now we're going to go on to Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I'm glad somebody got that reference.
Yeah, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Ooh, that's a tough one. Shawshank Redemption.
So my favorite part of that movie is when the Shawshank gets redeemed. It's pretty important.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that one.
Yeah. Yeah, who would have known that you could redeem a Shawshank in the first place? You know?
I also remember back in the day, we talked about how important Cadillacs are to you.
Cadillacs?
Yeah, because of a certain somebody.
Yes, that was back when I drove a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you need to get a pink Cadillac, dude. We need to make that happen.
So here's the thing about Cadillacs. Is they used to be very important to me, and I was like obsessed with that Cadillac that I had, and it was like a CTS, and I loved it. And then a headlight went out in it, and it cost me $600 to have fixed, because their headlights are sealed, and the only way to get into them is you have to have this special tool. That in order to get that special tool, you have to be a Cadillac certified technician. And so I had to take it to a Cadillac dealer to have it fixed, and it cost $600. And then the battery went out in it, and I was like, okay, I'll go get another battery. Well, Cadillac makes their own batteries. They're longer than a normal car battery and shorter than a normal car battery, so no other car battery will fit or work in there. And that battery cost me was like $900.
Jeez, dude.
And so I was like, yeah, done with Cadillacs.
I can just see you being like, screw Cadillac, screw Elvis. I don't want any more of this.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that I was so like, at that time, that was like a bad time. I was broke always. And because I couldn't afford it, was literally, I'm not joking, it was like $950 for the battery.
Yeah.
For like 6 months, anytime I drove my car, I had to jumpstart it.
Dang, dude.
Every time. Like you go to the gas station, don't turn it off.
Yeah.
I'll have to jump it and it'll be embarrassing. I would go like to the mall to go like shopping for clothes and leave my car running in the parking lot because I don't want to jumpstart it in front of people.
That's so funny.
But yeah, no, Elvis, that'll never die. So how I feel about Blink-182 is also how I feel about Elvis.
Yeah. Is there anything?
Love Elvis. Other than, not really, I guess, other than maybe like my biggest regret in life is being born after he died.
Yeah,
that's probably my biggest.
you had a lot to do with that. Like you had a lot of control over that, so you should regret
Yeah,
that.
I do. I wholeheartedly regret it.
Poor guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, but no, I love Elvis Presley. There's something to be said about a man that could be as big of a star as he was and still is, and never write your own music. He never wrote a song.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know. I want to say it was like up until like 2018 or something like that. He was consistently up until 2018 the number one selling artist every year.
Dang.
He'd been dead for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And still outselling everybody.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yep. And he also never played a show outside of the United States.
Yeah, that's crazy too.
Yeah. Yeah. And he is the most. I saw something not that long ago that said that Elvis's music and his likeness, like what his picture or whatever, is recognized by more people in more countries than even Jesus. Wow. I don't know how true that is, but
yeah, that's crazy though.
But that's why he's the king. So.
And then one of the last ones for the personal questions. If you introduce yourself to somebody, you say, "Hey, I'm a musician. What's your first instrument that you say that you play? Like, what's your preferred or your go-to instrument?"
I'd probably say that I play guitar. Probably. That's a tricky question. So I actually am like one of those people that like, if I meet somebody new, they'll never know I'm a musician. I don't ever talk about it. I've never been the guy who's like, oh, I play music, If I get asked, it's like, hey, you play music? Yeah. What do you play? I play a bunch of instruments. Oh, well, which are you best at? I'm probably best at guitar. And then they're like, oh, what's your favorite? My favorite to play is drums.
Yeah, right on, dude.
But I'm probably the best at guitar. But in total, I think I play like 11 instruments.
Oh, and if someone meets you and doesn't ask you if you're a musician, and they have to ask, like, that's embarrassing. They've never met a musician because you can look at you and go, "Yeah, that guy plays an instrument, at least one instrument for sure."
Yeah. Yeah. So wait, what's the question?
The question is, I should have asked earlier. What's your definition of punk and what's your definition of emo?
Ooh. So this is where I think everybody gets it wrong with me.
Okay.
Is they assume that I like emo music.
You don't look emo, so I don't know why they would assume that.
They assume, I think people assume that if you like punk rock or pop punk, you like emo.
Okay.
And then like when I think of emo, I think of like My Chemical Romance or Senses Fail. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which My Chemical Romance, like, I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever listened to an album all the way through.
Okay.
But the songs that I like by them, I really like, which is still only like 4,
Yeah. No,
and Senses Fail has one good album and the rest of them are kind of garbage to me, my opinion.
What's the good one?
I don't even know the name of it. It's the one that like has all the fire on it.
Okay.
Let It Unfold. It has like lady in the blue dress on it.
Yeah.
I really like that album. I've always been like pop punk and punk rock. I love Bad Religion and Blink-182 and Homegrown and Messed and Good Charlotte and like Propagandhi and stuff like that. Emo to me, I feel is more of like a descriptor. You know what I mean? I'm emo. Okay, I automatically assume like you're maybe a little bit more sad, glasses half empty kind of person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Punk rock, again, with me as maybe a little bit different, is never been like what you look like. I've never been like the most punk guy I ever met ever in my entire life was this guy that I don't know that I ever saw him wear anything but suits or like button up collared shirts with a tie. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like he was very much his own person. He didn't care what anybody thought. He wasn't going to like conform in any way. And he always kind of like stood up for what he thought was right, whether it was right or not. That's debatable, I guess. But like punk rock's always been kind of like an attitude for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say I consider myself a punk rock person because like I'm not. I don't care what the latest styles are. I mean, I dress the exact same now as I did when I met you, which is funny too, is because like I remember you making fun of me one time in the studio when we were recording Heisey because I wore New Balances. I had like my feet up on my desk and we were talking about a part in a song or whatever, and you're like, "Sweet New Balances, Dad."
I remember you when we were at Aurora Studios, your studio.
Yeah.
You had me go open the door for somebody that I'd never met before. But you're
Mhm.
like, I'm sending out the most pop punk looking person in the world, and the guy like waved at me when he saw me. He's like, "Yep, that's the guy."
Yeah. 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 So and honestly, I've dressed this. I mean, like literally, the shorts that I was wearing last like Friday,
Uh-huh.
I've had since my junior year in high school.
Yeah.
It probably falls in line with that like pop punk look, I guess, like the stereotypical like what Blink 182 used to look like. You know what I mean? But mine is more of like punk rock. I would say you're punk rock if you care more about how you feel about things than you do about how anybody else feels about it. You know what I
I
mean?
like that. Yeah, that's sick. I like that a lot.
So, I maybe it's a fault, maybe it's not. I take into consideration more of how I'm going to feel about something when I'm making a decision,
Yeah.
or how it's going to, the outcome's going to suit me before
Yeah.
I'll think about how it's going to make me look or what other people are going to think of it. And I feel like that's like what punk rock is. You know what I mean? Do what makes you happy.
Dude, I like that so much.
Yeah.
Good definitions. And I
Thanks, man.
appreciate you intriguing me on those.
Yeah.
You're going to say something else. What?
No, I was just saying, sorry I didn't like touch more on the emo thing.
You don't need
Man,
to.
I call my daughter all the time a little emo baby because she will not miss a chance to cry.
So your
You're
definition
a
of
little.
emo is Emma.
Yes, 100%.
Emma
Emma's
equals
emo.
emo. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
she'll be like, my hair, it's not perfect. Like, oh man, you're a little emo baby, aren't you? so yeah.
Well, before we wrap things up, is there anything else you want to talk about or bring up?
Just my general feelings towards you. You know,
Okay, let's hear them.
I feel like I would like to use this chance to say that you were my spirit animal and confess
Okay.
my undying love for you. I've always wanted to touch your bottom
Okay.
and caress your neck with my chin.
I'm pretty sure you've done both of those things multiple times.
No, genuinely, for as little like contact as we have, you're just like the best friend, dude. Like genuinely, like I think that like there's I don't know that there's ever been a time that I'll get like a random text from you. It'd be like the first time that you've texted me in like a year or something like that. You know what I mean? Or even longer. And you're like, hey man, how you doing? And I'm just like, Blair. Like it just always puts a smile on my face. And I just think you're the most genuine dude. And like the day that we met in the mall, now that I remember it. Like was really like honestly, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure a lot of the people that you've probably had on your podcast feel this way. You're one of those people. You're a lifelong friend, no matter what, no matter the distance, no matter how long it's been. I always feel like talking to you. It's like I've never stopped talking to you. Like we could have been talking yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're just the most solid, best dude, and I'm stoked to be on your podcast. I'm stoked when I get to listen to your podcast. I can't wait to hear the Karlton one and make fun of him. I'm going to take notes and send him editorial notes on Facebook. But no, like genuinely, I think you're just one of the best dudes I think that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting in my life.
Well, I appreciate that, dude. You definitely made me blush, and I'm happy to hear all those things.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorite people, and I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Me too.
I've been so excited all day, dude, to come home and do this.
Well, I hope that I didn't let you down. I probably did, but
Well, a little bit, but
yeah, most of my life full of disappointments.
once you started talking about me, that's when it just fell off the edge.
Yeah. You're like, it kind of drug there in the middle, but the end really picked up.
All right,
And
man. Well, I'm
really,
glad we got
really
to do
made it
this.
for me. Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time. I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, you too, man.
Dude, you take care of yourself.
You too. And good luck with the podcast. I can't wait to hear more.
Love you, dude.
Love you too.